Bobbi, we in the building again. I missed you, sis.
I missed you.
So you know what? Let's get this party going.
Let's go.
Deejay John Quick, Bobbi Baker, Deejay John Quick, Bobbi Baker.
He's the DJ, she's the actress. He's the DJ, she's the actress. He's the DJ, she's the actress.
Yeah, I saw you moving it over there. I saw you backstage, crip walking. Anyway, what's good, party people? I'm superhero DJ John Quick.
I'm Bobbi Baker.
And this is He's the DJ, She's the Actress. You know how we do, man. We kick it every week. Various topics, pop culture style. But before we get into any of that, first of all, I want to say happy belated Mother's Day. And
thank you.
You know, I know that you are an amazing mother. Firsthand knowledge. I see how you handle your boys. You know, those are my little nephews. You know, so and you know, you just, you know, it's just exciting to honor, you know, those superheroes that are called mothers. And speaking of which, Bobbi, I wanted to play you a clip from yesterday. It actually went viral. It was one of my favorite basketball players of all time from the Fab Five.
Yeah.
And right now, my favorite sports announcer, Jalen Rose, and he was just reflecting on, you know, his first Mother's Day without his mother. So check it out. And get your Kleenex out too.
Oh gosh, I got.
You know, Jalen, I know this can't be an easy Mother's Day for you. And Mama Rose obviously gave you the name because it was a superpower, but I want you to know that you are our superhero.
Thank you.
And you mean everything to us.
Thank you.
But it's just a special moment in time that we wanted to be able to honor your mom.
Thank you. And I'm really just forever grateful for the acknowledgement of my mother and her legacy. You know, this is the first time in my life that I didn't have my mother and grandmother on Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? And it's been tough. It's really been tough for me and my family. But I'm gonna be strong though. You know, I got a lot of people that rely on me, a lot of people that love me, a lot of people that believe in me. So I'm gonna represent. And Mom, I'm gonna make you proud. You know, like, we fell in love with basketball together. You know what I'm saying? Like, my father played in the league, and to not know him, she was like, you gonna make it. You gonna get us out the hood. I promise you. And I was like, I'm gonna do it, Mom. And I did it. And we did it.
You did it. You did it.
And where was Jalen Rose this week honoring his mother? In
Giving
Detroit,
out
helping people get vaccinated in his hometown the way he is there all the time at the Jalen Rose Academy. No one gives back to that city and that community the way Jalen Rose does.
Thank you.
You are a living, breathing monument of your mom, of Jeannie Rose. You are everything that she represents. You are everything that she ever wanted, and you're carrying on the legacy every day. We love you and we appreciate you.
I love you too.
We love you so much.
Appreciate you guys. You mean a lot to me. Like, she had 2 kids when she graduated from high school, you know? And we supposed to be a statistic, you know what I'm saying? And she told me, you know, I used to sign Dr. J as my autographs when I was little, and people was laughing at me and was teasing me. And she was like, you gonna make it. You is Dr. J. But she was like, but you ain't never better than Magic. That's what she always told me. She loved Magic, you know, for real. And that's how she motivated me. She's like, you could be whatever, but you ain't gonna never be better than Magic. And that was the thing that we used to always joke about. And it's really tough, and I'm just happy that the name Jalen is going to carry our legacy, carry her legacy. That's really important to me. Losing her like 90 days ago, and losing my grandma, I'm just happy that name is going to carry on her legacy. So I appreciate you guys very much.
You're a statistic and a testament to greatness, and honestly, we honor every single mother, but specifically Mama Rose.
Happy Mother's Day.
On today's Mother's Day.
Woo, woo. Yeah, what'd I tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I tell you, that was one of the most beautiful Mother's Day tribute I've ever seen on TV in regards to sports and everything, just in entertainment in general. And I actually it's funny, he has the Jalen Rose Academy for Boys, which I admire him so much for some of the things that he does off the court. And I actually bought, because you can buy like hoodies to support the school, so I bought a hoodie, but I ain't got my hoodie yet, Jalen. I ain't got my hoodie yet. So although that was a beautiful tribute and everything, I'm sitting here sad too because I ain't get my hoodie. So y'all need to step it up, Jalen Rose Academy. I need my hoodie.
LLC.
No, all good. Even if I never receive it, I'm just glad I donated to such a worthy cause. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with our audience, and big up to ESPN, Maria Taylor, and Jalen Rose. I love you guys. And, one of my, my favorite, like, combination to watch on TV in terms of NBA basketball. But
that's what's up.
All right, sis, let's get into this. Because we got a big show ahead of us. We're going to have the House of Payne Barbershop reunion. I cannot wait. So anyway, let's get to file this under. So our first subject is J. Cole just signed a contract. He's going to be playing it for Rwanda in the Basketball Africa League. And I have a couple questions about this. First of all, like for those who don't know, J. Cole actually walked on to St. John's basketball. So he was a D1 basketball player at some point. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Now, did he see game, or was he best friends with the water boy? Yeah. I'm not here to say that. But what I have to say is, I kind of have mixed feelings about this, sis, because yes, it's great. It's great publicity for the NBA's new endeavor in Africa. But at the same time, the whole point of this platform was to give African players a chance to showcase their talents. So you are going over there, you're taking up a roster spot that an African player should have had. But I get both sides because, this is good publicity for the league.
Yeah, I think this is business. And there's got to be some draw.
Yeah, exactly.
To establish, the audience and people's desire to watch. People may come to watch him.
Yeah. Yep.
But then they'll end up watching everybody else. That reminds me.
I know we got a story. For those who are going to listen to us on Spotify, I'm just sad for y'all because her hat right now is fire. It is literally the scene of should have been my wife, Angela Bassett, walking away from that burning car. And Stella's got to get her groove back. That's what it was, right, Stella?
No, waiting to exhale.
Waiting to exhale. Yeah.
Yes.
So her hat is fire.
It's the scene that inspired me to want to be an actor, and
which is scary in itself.
Right. And she looks like my mom.
Oh, that's what's up. So, but anyway, you were gonna say it reminded you of what?
So it reminded me. It's funny, all these things about moms are coming up because it reminds me about when I was 10, and in Vacation Bible School, these boys from the neighborhood were coming to Vacation Bible School because they thought I was cute. And one of them actually got saved because he wanted to start coming to church so he could see me.
Oh, look at you.
And I was like, no, and I was
inspiring those boys.
But my mama was like, I was like, Mama, I don't think that he really wanted to. I think he's here for me. I don't think he's really here for the right reasons.
He's not here for Jesus. He's
here right. He's not here for Jesus. He's here for me. And I remember her saying, look, there can be multiple ways for the door to be opened. Once he goes through it, then it's in somebody else's hands. One thing might bring him there, but you never know what's going to keep him. And so I don't remember his name. I don't know where he is, but I hope he stayed at the church. I hope he fell in love with Jesus. But that reminds me of the J. Cole story. Sometimes people come for one thing, but they stay for another. So maybe that's maybe that's his reasoning behind it.
All right,
Either
so-
way, everything he does turns to gold.
Yeah.
Because
he does.
he is a genius.
He's a genius. And I know that's your North Carolina homie.
Listen,
He's
I live
dope.
right down the street. There's an apartment building with a big mural of him.
Wow.
And it's like probably like, I don't know, a mile and a half from my house.
Yeah.
And that mural alone is what's like keeping me on the fence about selling my house.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm like, but it's right by the J. Cole mural. I can't.
I have a great J. Cole story. I was actually DJing in downtown at a spot called Sutra in New York City. And, you know, I had 2 floors. So I was on the downstairs level. I'm, you know, doing my thing. And like this whole big group of people comes in. And come to find out, the manager comes over to me. Oh, by the way, this is new artist. His name is J. Cole. He just got signed to Rockefeller. And we're going to be doing, you know, they're here to celebrate his signing. So, okay. And so the dude, I guess his manager, he walks over, he goes, hey, he hands me a CD. He goes, can you play this? I said, no. I said, I'm playing vinyl. I don't have, you know, CDJs or whatever.
Okay.
He was like kind of upset. He wasn't upset to the point where I felt like I needed to slap him, but he was upset or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I'm sorry, bro. I said, they didn't tell me. If I had known I have CDJ, I would have bought my own, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So then 5 minutes later, J. Cole walks over and he goes, yo, you know, what happened? And I said, you know, he wanted me to play a CD. I can't play a CD because we don't have CDJs. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, you know, don't even worry about it. And I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, just by the way you just reacted, I hope you blow the hell up. I said, I know you're in good hands on Rockefeller.
Yeah.
But I just love, and I was like, where are you from, man? And he was like, North Carolina. I was like, oh, I'm from West Virginia. And we just start talking and whatever.
Yeah.
I wish I had gotten his info because I wasn't really thinking. I was going to do a job. But he was just a smooth, humble dude with a nice temperament. So I'm super happy with all the success that he's received. But anyway, so I'm a father son that J. Cole, go do your damn thing.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. Make it good.
So listen, sis. This next story is about a U.S. Air Force fighter pilot, and she's a female, and she, you know, received an award for skillfully landing a damaged aircraft without a cockpit canopy or working landing gear. So listen. So first of all, to do that, you got to have mad skills, as we say, you know, up here in the city. But my question to you is, what was your most fearful flight experience?
Oh, that would be the first one I ever took. At the tender age of 8 years old, I took my first flight by myself.
Wow.
And this doesn't have anything to do with the plane, but you know, back then, I don't know how they do it now, but when kids fly by themselves, you have this big old button, you know, it's a big old button that, you know, basically lets everybody know you're flying by yourself. And so, you know, I'm pretty cool and calm and collected now that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I was doing good for being 8. So I remember sitting down in the window seat. I have to make sure my kid isn't listening because this story scares him. I'm sitting down in the window seat and I'm just, you know, looking straight ahead. And then all of a sudden I see this big old, I mean, he is a huge man with these dark shades on, come burbling down the aisle, if that's a word, it is now, come burbling down the aisle. And where does he sit? Beside me, right beside me. In the middle seat. It's a whole aisle seat that he could sit in. He sits beside me, but that's not the thing that scared me. John, I turned to the side to look up at him.
Yeah.
He didn't have any eyeballs.
What? What do you mean he didn't have eyeballs?
He didn't have any eyeballs, John. He should have had a patch on.
Yeah.
It should have been it was hollow. And he had on shades. But all this was like hollow. He didn't have.
So he was blind, basically.
Yeah, he didn't have any. Yeah, but all this was like darkness. Like he didn't have, and I was like, And then the stewardess, shout out to her because she was on it. She must have had kids because she swooped right in. She was like, sir, I have a seat for you right over here. If you don't mind that, and she moved and whatever. But she knew from far I was about to blow.
She probably saw that face because you're very expressive.
I am. It was probably worse then. She knew I was about to blow, and I wasn't really a crier. I've never been a crier. Look, I just got done crying.
Yeah, I know, right? In this episode.
Like 5 minutes ago. But no, thankfully I've never been on a flight where like there was like system, dramatic turbulence or anything like that. Thank God. And I pray I never do.
Well, I have. It was my first time DJing at Essence Fest. I was so excited. I was going to be opening up for Biz Marquee. My boy, what's homie from Jump the Broom, Lance. He's on The Boys now. What is his name? Oh God, why am I having a block? Anyway, very, very, very well-known actor. And as soon as I'm done with the story, of course I'll remember his name.
Okay. Not Lance Gross.
No, not Lance Gross. I know Lance. Lance is cool.
Laz Alonso.
Laz. It was Laz. Yeah, Laz was hosting.
Yeah.
Laz was hosting. Then one of the other dudes from what's that show used to come on, The Game on BET? I forgot his name. He was hosting. I was excited. It's my Pooch. It was Pooch. Pooch. Yep. So I was excited. I was going to be playing at the House of Blues.
Yeah.
So we get near New Orleans, and the guy goes, "Okay, it might get a little bumpy before we land, so just hold on." Bumpy. Yo, it was crazy to the point grown people were screaming, right? And I remember this and I remember I was sitting next to a woman and her child, and the child was in the middle, and the child didn't know me from Adam. She grabbed onto my hand and squeezed it so hard. So mind you, I'm scared to death right now because first of all, I'm scared of heights anyway. So even though I don't mind flying, I'm scared of heights. I know what you're thinking, like a superhero scared of heights. How the hell you be
right? And you're tall. You kind of live in a height.
I know.
So
anyway, long story short, I remember Watch the Throne had just dropped that summer. So I'm listening to Jay-Z and Kanye's album, and I was like, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go bobbing my head. So I turned that joint up, and I was like, I just closed my I've never heard, you would have thought the Knicks won the championship by the cheer that was let out when we landed. It was the craziest. It was just so jerky. No, it was crazy. So anyway,
man,
I'm gonna file this under traumatic experience.
Traumatic. I'm gonna file this under if you don't have no eyeballs, please invest in a pack.
Exactly. I know. Right?
Look, so I'm sorry, but
So listen, this last story happened here in New York City because with the whole pandemic learning thing, thing is on the Zoom for the most part. Up until recently, and an NYC Spanish teacher is in trouble for sucking a companion's nipple during a Zoom class. So my thing is, like, what? I guess my question is, like, what was the set? Did she think that her screensaver was on or whatever? Because it said after she finished, she went back and helped the kids with a worksheet. I was like, wow. But I think, like, I know, honestly. Now, see, I would have been the smart aleck kid to say some stuff like, after she had handed out the sheets, I would have looked at it. I would have said, "This sucks, and so do you." But so what are Queen Bobbi? What are your thoughts on that? Like, what would happen if your son had came home? Well, not came home, but walked to the other room. My mom. I think you need to come see this.
Oh my gosh. I can't think of anything but to have blown up her spot. Like who would let that go on? Like as soon as like, you see something exposed, or you see like a pucker towards the direction of, you know, like it should have been like, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder what grade it was too, because I know like I sat there the entire time with my kid, you know, and I was like constantly checking in. So wow, I'm so baffled by this. And I'm also wondering what in the middle of the day, in the middle of a Zoom in particular, would cause you to want to do such a thing.
I'm just like, damn, you are at work. Hello.
Right. Like what stimulated? What was the source of stimulation? I wonder.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So
that's gross.
Yeah, we're gonna file this under highly inappropriate.
Oh my gosh!
And our last subject before we get into this House of Payne Barbershop reunion, is SWV and Escape did a Verzuz this weekend. And you know, I didn't catch it live, but I watched it yesterday and I enjoyed it. But there's been a lot of talk of like, they need to make up their mind whether it's going to be a concert or whatever, or they just going to talk or whatever. Look, in terms of the Verzuz in general, because each Verzuz has had its own personality,
right?
But my thing is this: if you know where this came from, this is basically Swiss Beats and Timbaland on IG when that whole IG live first came out, whatever, just going back and forth, like challenging each other, in terms of just playing beats, very informal, whatever.
Yeah.
And so to see how it's morphed into a full production, I'm like, I'm not mad at it. Like from that point on, everything else to me is straight up. It's just straight up icing on the cake. I don't know. What do you think, sis?
And they don't need to. You don't eat that. No. Sorry, motherhood moment. Nope. Put it up. Nope, put it up. I'm not going back and forth. Put it up.
I love this.
Look, I'm sorry.
Which nephew was that?
The little one.
Okay, got you.
The little one. Okay. The muffin man. Not at 8:30. No, I don't think that they have to decide anything. I think that's the beauty of Verzuz. You don't know what to expect. And everybody's going to have their own interpretation of how they are going to perform that night. Sometimes it's going to be a fight. Sometimes it's going to be all love. You know, you don't know what to expect. That's the beauty of Verzuz. It doesn't have to be anything. Like, stop trying to put stuff in a box. Like, come on, let's just go with the flow.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's file this under leave shit alone.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. Run it back to the scene from a couple weeks ago. Stop touching stuff.
Exactly. So listen, sis, we're gonna file, like I said, we're gonna file it on the leave stuff alone. But but right now, I want to give you the honor of introducing our next guests. Our room. It's gonna be a room, y'all. Hope y'all ready. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
Ready. Listen, never in my life has there been a group of people that I connected with so deeply, especially on film. It is my honor and pleasure and joy to present to you Palmer Williams Jr., you know him as Floyd, Denyce Lawton, you knew her as Dana, and Jason Dirden, you knew him as Delante. This is my House of Payne family, y'all.
Hey. What up, family? What up?
We haven't been together in forever.
Individually, I've seen you guys, except for Bobby, but
we haven't seen each other.
Wow. Well, look, I ain't never seen y'all except on TV. I really enjoyed the show, so I'm just glad to have y'all. So I'm just gonna sit back like a fly on the wall, because what I need all three of y'all to do, I need some funny stories about Bobby so I can tease her later.
Look, it was all recorded.
That's it. It was all recorded.
It was all recorded.
Okay.
No,
other than the fact when you came out with that full bodysuit looking like an iguana, and
the green one,
the talent show.
Yes, and you started doing all kinds of ambidextrous and flexible stuff.
Driz.
And I understand why your husband married you. I do. I really. You had the flexible anointing, I guess.
But look, let me show y'all. I'm so happy to see y'all. Let me show y'all inside of that green suit was this right here.
Exactly.
Y'all remember that?
Right. I do.
They were among the first people that knew I was pregnant.
The fact that you're sitting up there in the dressing room crying and carrying on. She's like,
yeah,
cannot believe I'm in love with this little human being that I haven't met.
But what was even funnier was, I think not even 3 weeks before that, Tyler had you doing a whole physical to see if you were pregnant. Do you remember that? I never got tested.
Wow.
I was like,
I didn't know that.
So what? Yeah, I wasn't there for that. What happened?
This was actually the last episode we all filmed together. It was the episode with Gladys Knight. And a few weeks before that, Bobbi calls me and she was like, did you have to do a physical? I was like, no. And they were like, we were trying to figure out why. I was like, maybe because you're married and they think you're family planning, but they wanted to make sure she was not pregnant.
Yeah. And we just made it.
Just made it.
Wow.
Because then she was like, I'm pregnant. I was like, how'd you beat the test?
Wow.
Oh man, yes. Y'all, what do y'all think it was? Because one thing that I think we can all agree on was that our chemistry was unmatched.
Hey, Bobbi, hold on. I just got to give props to Palmer because he was looking like witness protection for a second, but he hooked that lighting up. He hooked that lighting up.
No,
much props.
I couldn't see my damn self. So
Well, you have the light behind you. That's why, Palmer.
Is that what
Yeah, man.
That whole 60 minutes witness thing going on.
You need some front light.
She's in love with lamps and candles.
You got to put the light in front of you.
I know that's too much.
Denise is a photographer too, y'all. So she be knowing.
She's a light designer.
You good now, bro? You good? You good now? You definitely.
Hey, look, I wore this shirt just for y'all too. Look.
What is that?
What does it say?
Free agent.
Free agent.
That's the name of my adult softball team. I'm actually first baseman. We have a game tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, of course,
wow.
I'm the oldest people on the team.
I think it's the first time you've sat down since we've met.
Pretty much.
It probably is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But look, but y'all tell me, what do y'all think it was that what was the reason why we had such great chemistry? In y'all's opinion, like what did y'all feel when we would be together? Because I don't know about y'all, but I felt like it was almost immediate. It was
instant.
What does it take? What does it take for that to happen?
I think it was hunger for one.
Okay.
Not in the physical sense, but the business sense of things. Felt like we had 4 individual stars that got the assignment. And you're like, you know what? In order for us to really make this work, we have to be a collective star. It was I mean, everybody, it's almost like it was a, you know, you hate using football analogies and baseball, but you know, you just pass the ball to the next person. And I always knew that if I passed it to Denise, she gonna hit a 3. If I passed it to Bobbi before she cut you, she gonna score. You know what I'm saying? And then Tracy's gonna dribble between the legs and dish it off so sweet. Because you didn't know what to expect from the other person, and we were on our toes at all times. But it was like a playground. We had fun.
We had fun. Yeah. I think now knowing each of you individually, and then no shade, because you know I love Gary. But after Jason, you know, left and they brought Gary in, I saw how it changed. And so I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
And it's not a hit to Gary personally, but it's about comedians in general and working with them. One of the things I think was really amazing about all of us, and now knowing each of you individually and having relationships, and we're all good human beings. That's one. And secondly, I think even outside of the hunger, it was we were able to all get along because there was something about each of our personalities that just clicked very well.
Yeah.
where we were able to, and I don't like using the word humble or humility because that's a whole nother story to get into, but there was a humility inside of all of us that said, you and I work together well in this scene and this scene. Like, we weren't bigger than each other. Whereas on that show, there were people that was like, if you guys remember, we're not going to say names, that said, if it's not on paper, it ain't coming out my mouth.
Right.
Whereas all of us would go and sacrifice our lunch hours and would sit in our dressing rooms and write stuff for each other and work together well with each other. We didn't let the show be bigger than us or other people come in and try to
we
make us feel smaller.
We shared stuff with each other.
We did share, and we were like, and we had that humility.
If Denyce says something like, "Well, Palmer, if you try this," and then Bobbi would be like, you know, sometimes not Bobbi. I'm gonna tell you now, Bobbi would slip shit in on you now. Excuse me.
I did.
I'm supposed to cuss on this.
You both did though.
Is this a church blog? I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
No, it would be like, you know, she would do something and she was sitting there and it would be like the tag at the end of the scene and she would say something like, "Really, Bobbi? Is that what you think?"
Always trying to get the big piece of chicken. I'd be like, what?
Right. What the hell? And then, you know, when Jason would pull something out the drawer that wasn't put in there in the first place, and then the whole thing about him staying in the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? And we always knew Bobbi would go for violence.
Right.
If anybody should have been violent, it would have been Denyce. You know what I'm saying? And
I always hit you. That was my go-to. You would say something pseudo-racist, and I would slap you.
And that was the thing, though. I was not really trying to be racist.
I know.
Like, we don't realize how politically incorrect.
Mexican gigolo, remember that? Mexican gigolo?
Especially in this era right now. Do you know how many people come for me? It was like, you let all these Asian jokes and all these racist remarks fly. I'm like, and I had this conversation with Daniel Day Kim recently where he said, you know what? That was 2006. That was 2007. It was a different era. Let's hope that people are more, you know, politically correct and more sensitive to people's feelings and ethnic cultures more now than then. Like, we gonna let that slide. But oh no, people are coming for me right now. They're posting stuff, tagging me and stuff, and was like, you had a whole episode about the Paynes making fun of Asian people and Hispanic people in one episode. The one with my parents.
Do you remember when oh my God, that was the episode.
That was the episode was called Payne and Prejudice.
Oh, wow.
That was the thing. But real quick,
do you remember I said, I don't care if you Hong Kong fooey, and I look at you and said, "Excuse me, Lagisha gal."
No, but you would do stuff. Be like, call 911, not
199. 199. Yeah,
right.
I said that.
Yes,
you
did.
That was Tyler's writing.
No. But I wanted to say this real quick because it made me miss Jason a lot, and this kind of goes back to what you were asking, Bobbi. Was, like I said, it's not a dig on Gary per se, but just comedians as well. What we all learned, Jason didn't experience this, was it's harder to work with a comedian who is used to having the punchlines and working by themselves. We struggled because we all worked together so well that even Lance, although he wasn't a part of the barbershop initially, when Lance saw how we all started working well together and how it was like becoming the fan favorite setup, Lance would sit on his lunch hour with us and write stuff with us as well. You know, and even why can't I think? Levan would sit in with us every now and then. They were the only other two of the main cast that would sit with us and be like, yo, let's make this scene work. Whereas when Gary came in, it was harder.
The crew started looking forward to seeing our scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was just that we worked well together. We listened to each other. We respected each other. Yeah.
And we was all pretty. We had y'all to be the beautiful women, and then we just had to be funny. Well, you know, Jason with all the pretty hair and everything.
It was the hair.
That's why I had to always keep my hair. You know, I didn't want that cul-de-sac, that Sherman Hemsley type thing going on. So I had to keep my stuff cut down too.
I love how everybody thought Jason was Hispanic, and I was like, they were like, oh, Spanish boy.
Yeah, everybody.
Right.
You probably had so many Spanish comments in his chat room.
You know what I want to say as a fan, just watching the show, I have to honestly say, and I would say this even though, Bobby's one of my closest friends, but the barbershop scene on that show to me was the best thing on TV at that time in terms of Black comedy, because it was so realistic. And, I'm listening to you guys talk about how easy it was to work with each other. It really came across that way from a viewer standpoint. It seemed like, it was like really a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? And I was, and when I met Bobby, I thought about, I was like, yo, would she really cut me if it came down to it? That's some slick, something to ponder.
Do you know there's
you know what? Go ahead.
There's a show called In the Cut?
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't.
And there's a
realize
lot of
that was the name
barbershops
of the
that are already
barbershop.
called
Right.
In the Cut.
Yeah,
Right.
that was on the actual. It was the guy with the afro thing. He had like the grill and everything.
Yeah.
Below his
It's on
picture.
Bounce Network.
Yeah, it was
Right.
there on our barbershop scene. There was a sign there saying In the Cut.
In the cut.
Mhm.
You know,
I think
you
it's
know
funny
what?
that Bobby was the one that was the hood chick, but went to Juilliard.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was like,
isn't that crazy?
she went to
What were you
Juilliard to
gonna
play a
say?
hood watch.
I was just gonna say, going back to the original question, what we're all talking about is what established that chemistry so quickly. I think, and I don't think any of us ever verbalized it. And there's no shade to the show before we got there, but I think we all felt individually that this barbershop crew was an opportunity to make the show better.
Yeah.
Right. And so we all came in thinking, not necessarily, now we were all happy to be working, but not necessarily to get our own shine. But this is the barbershop crew. This is the and we were actually, like, if you really watch the show, and that's why after like the second week of shooting, Tyler was like, make sure we write a pilot for the barbershop crew, because it felt like a different show. It could have been a show on its own because of the chemistry, because the ball was just bouncing, because our jokes hit a little harder. Because of the ensemble that was working.
I almost feel like it kind of gave House of Payne extra life.
It gave it, but listen, I don't know if you guys remember.
Longevity.
We were only supposed to do one episode.
I heard
we were all there to do
three.
one.
I had 3 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it was like
just 3.
it was a guaranteed one, and then they said there's a possibility you might stay for 2 or 3. But by episode 4, he made us series regulars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we weren't supposed to be a whole swing set. They were just replacing the firehouse. But it was like, I don't know yet. But I just remember on episode 3, they had us doing, remember the whole photo shoot? We had a whole photo shoot session.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
And I was like, oh.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Denyce was always about the business, though.
She was. She could see it happening.
I'm surprised.
See it happening.
We should have had her to be our damn manager.
But another thing, another thing that I really admired about Denyce, and I really remember, I don't know if you even remember this, Denyce, but when we would have guest stars come in or people to come in and do under 5s and there were women, Denyce would always coach them. She would tell them, she would give them tips on how to stand so that they could, be standing, find the light, how to stand in their most flattering silhouette or what have you,
I gave one girl my bra.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
I did. She had all the wrong undergarments and we had problems with wardrobe.
Wrong undergarments? Is that what you said?
Wrong undergarments.
You guys remember I struggled with wardrobe. They would give me wrong size clothes last minute because we were getting dressed on set. Like I was being Bobby, I can talk about it now. I don't care. I was being sabotaged. Bobby, you were my witness.
Do you know? I was gonna ask Palmer. Do you remember when they put Palmer, do you remember the time they put your makeup on Denyce?
And Tyler lost his
and the person came onto set
and called
with Palmer's powder and put it on Denyce's nose.
On my nose.
Wow.
And they yelled action. Wow. And Denyce had like a serious scene, but her whole nose was brown.
Wow.
No, it wasn't Palmer's makeup. It was Lance's makeup.
Oh,
yes.
Lance's makeup.
Lance's makeup. Yes.
Oh,
anybody that knows that's way
she
off.
got fired on the set.
She got fired.
She did. Wow. She tried to pull because housekeeping rules, you call him Mr. Perry on set.
Wow.
We could call him Tyler in his house, but it was Mr. Perry on set. And so Tyler was
You,
there.
you
This was the
literally
one
were
time he was
brown
actually
nosing
there.
at that point, I guess.
So there
Brown
was
nose.
one point when he was there, and he said, "Is this supposed to be a joke? Are y'all trying to say Denyce be brown nosing?" I was like, "What? What's that mean?"
Wow.
And they were like, "What's that on
Lance's
her
makeup,
face?"
wow.
And then everybody got quiet, and everybody was like,
And Denyce was just standing there with a black nose.
"I have a black nose." And
She's
you
like,
know,
what?
they used to do practical jokes on there, so I'm thinking something's going on.
Right.
And they said, so Tyler comes from around the camera and he's pissed. He goes, "Who did her makeup? Who touched her up?" And nobody would say anything. So he said, "Who did your makeup?" And I was like, And she was like, and she came on with an attitude, was like, "Okay, and he was like, what's your name?" She said her name. And he said something about her touching me up. And she goes, "Listen, Tyler," he said, we all said, "Oh, Lord."
And she was privileged.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I get it.
Yeah, she wasn't
Oh,
supposed
yeah,
to
I
do like
remember
touch
her.
up. She
I
was
remember her.
extras. She was only supposed to touch extras. That
That's
was
right.
it. And she
Right.
did Lance's makeup and then used his powder puff
Wow.
nasty on my
Wow.
face too.
All she would have
Right.
had to say is that they all look alike, and it would have been over.
But yeah,
damn.
that was bad. She got fired that minute. They said, "Can someone
Yeah.
escort her off of the lot?"
Do you remember when he played that practical joke on the one guy? He was in props, and he's like, "Who did this and who did this?" Or like he's like, "I did," and he's like, "Get your stuff and go home." And see, it was all set up. You remember that?
No, that was me. He did that to me.
He did to
He
you.
did that to you?
No, it was me.
You too?
Okay, so in other
me.
words,
Hold up. I sense a pattern here.
yeah,
He might have did
he,
it to all
he
of
did
us.
that
I
to
think
this
fake
this
fired
white guy
for
that did
doing
prop,
something.
and he looked like he was getting ready to let him have it too. Because let's just say he was a proud member of the Alphabet Mafia.
Oh wow.
And yeah, that's what that's what one of my LGBT friends calls it. He calls it the Alphabet Mafia.
Yeah, but I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, but this guy, he was like, he was packing his stuff up and it looked like he was right there about to say something to Mr. Perry, and then all of a sudden, he was just like, "I'm just kidding. And Bobbi started crying.
Yeah, because it was of me, because I slammed the door and a nail fell.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I slammed the door and
I don't remember that.
no, I slammed the door and a nail fell, and he thought it was gonna hurt me. He thought it was gonna hurt me.
I didn't stand in the right light, because remember they put me through that whole rigmarole of doing clown classes, and
Wait a minute, hold on a second. What?
they made me take comedy.
You know what? I
classes
do
and
remember
clown
some
classes.
improv, but I didn't know it was clown classes.
I call it clown classes.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready.
But they wanted me to do clown classes.
Damn, Jason.
Remember, because I wouldn't smack Lance properly and spit on him. And he was like, "Why aren't you doing what I'm asking you to do?" And I was like, "Because I want to be able to work after this show." And casting told me that they don't hire Tyler Perry actors. And he was like, "I'm gonna need to have a conversation with you." And then next thing I know, me and Bobbi both got episodes written specifically for us.
Yeah, because y'all had a couple where we weren't even there.
Wow.
But I'm gonna tell you,
like,
we used to love to wait to see what y'all were gonna have on.
Oh yeah, he's not lying about that. He's not lying about that. Oh
y'all was
my
about
God.
the sexiest hood chick.
Bobbi and I cannot breathe on
Bobbi
the
came on there with some damn what's the little
House of Darion?
No.
Yes, here's the House of Darion jeans. They kept us in some House of Darion.
Them doggone
It's still my favorite jeans to this day.
Oh, the stilettos?
No, it was some boots.
My thigh-high Timberlands.
There was some thigh-high Timberlands. I'd never seen them before.
Wow.
And then Denyce
I wish I had been a thief back then.
They kept me in some
I gotta put my
skimpy.
Oh yeah.
You was always something painted on.
Yeah. I'm surprised you could breathe, Denyce. I promise you.
No, they kept me and Bobbi. They kept us in.
And then they had your hair one time in a style where it was like curled up here in the front, and you had it down in the back. They was just having fun with you.
No, we had.
John, ask him something while I plug in my computer.
Oh no, you know what?
It was fun though.
What
Damn,
were you
DJ
guys?
got put on the spot. Then he
I
like,
know, right? Like boom. Like I was just sitting there like, no, seriously.
me and Jason are drinking while we're doing this.
It's all good. So listen,
I got water, man.
Oh,
what were you guys doing before you got hired to do this show?
I was a celebrity makeup artist and photographer.
What was I doing?
I mean, I was acting, but what was paying my bills was I was doing everyone's makeup.
Okay.
You know what was interesting about when we got hired? I had just I'm talking about fresh out of Juilliard, and there was a writer strike. So
that's what got us hired.
Nobody was working. Nobody was working.
But I think that's why we all got hired, because there was a whole bunch of other actors that were like, we can't work on it because it's not a union show right now. We all had the exceptions.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't union anyway.
No, I wasn't union yet either.
I was union, but I got the permission to work on the show.
I was with AFTRA, but I wasn't with SAG.
But that's why we all got hired, because union actors weren't allowed
I had
to work
already
during
been
that time.
dealing with Keith Sweat for 3.5 years and Monica for a year and a half, and then did the LSG tour and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where I was actually dancing at church. I don't know if you ever heard about this testimony.
I remember that.
Yeah, dancing at church.
Saw you.
And Tyler just happened to be there. And Alpha Tyler called me the next day. And mind you, I had never done liturgical dance ever. And I did that one time. He happened to be there because I was saying, I'm going to pull a hamstring. Up there dancing for Tyler. I'm finna audition for the ass in church. So did that, and church would go up, went getting ready to go and cut some grass because I still got the landscaping business to this day. And was going to cut some grass, and my boy answered my phone, said somebody named Alpha Tyler called and said that they have 2 times for an audition for you, 11 or 1. Which one you want? And I was like, yeah. Right. He said, if you don't pick up this ding, ding, ding phone and call them, excuse me, part-time save, brother. All right. So call, went in at 10:30. I was in the parking lot, snotting, crying, and praying. Lord, if you make me a good steward over this man's stuff, I know you're going to make me Lord over my own. And a 15-minute audition turned into an hour and a half. And that night, called me and said, want me to be on House of Payne. 6 days later, we were all met up at House of Payne.
I wasn't supposed to audition for this. They were casting Asian women.
Oh, wow.
And the casting director that they were using, I guess Tyler didn't like nothing he was bringing, like no one he was bringing in. And there was a casting director. To this day, I owe her my entire career because she also got me Taft-Hartley on The Parkers.
Wow.
But her name was Monica Swan. And Monica Swan called me and was like, what are you doing right now? I was like, nothing. What's up? And she was like, can you get down here to such and such in Culver City? She was like, there's a Tyler Perry show and they're casting people. It's like improv. Just, come on down. And I get there. It's all Asian and Hispanic women in there.
Wow.
And I was the only person that was like biracial, Asian and Black. And she had me do some lines. I did a cold read. And then she was like, I'm going to just throw some stuff at you. And I just want you to react how you would normally react. And put me on tape. And then 3 days later, they were like, you're booked. And you fly up tomorrow. And I was like, what? Like, what?
What about you, Jason?
I was a year
interview. How'd it happen for you, Jason?
I was a year out of grad school. I was in New York, a year out of grad school, and I was doing maybe just before the audition, I was doing a play for no money. Off Broadway. But I was a working actor. And I knew the casting director. In New York, when you get out there, you just kind of make the rounds until somebody takes a chance on you. So I knew the casting director, Mele, and this is how I figured out how the show worked. Tyler stuff works at least. I auditioned and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna change this line. And when I got it, and when we got the first script, what I changed was in the script. He got a strip club and a church on the same lot. You can get your booty and your blessings in the same place. That was in my I did it for my audition.
Yeah.
I knew I knew they was gonna be stealing stuff.
No.
Yeah, Yo, just real quick, if you, John, you don't know how many ducats they owe us for how much stuff we actually wrote on there in improv.
What?
Like props to the writers that were on there that wrote stuff. But there were so many times where we were like, do y'all even pay attention to the characters we developed? Because y'all giving me Bobby's lines and giving Jason Palmer's lines, and that don't even match the characters. We wrote so much of our own stuff. It was insane, but we'll never get the credit for it.
But
I will say that we were paid by freedom, like the freedom that we got. You know, being able to just experience that freedom on the set really set us up for so many things that came next.
I think it may have even been a little haterade from the rest of the cast.
No, but there was.
I love it.
It's me.
As I take another sip of my
There's something we can't talk about on here, but do you remember that one time we pulled that prank on Alan Payne? Were you there, Jason?
I don't think
Alan
so. What
was
happened?
being difficult with us for that one time. I think there was a little like, why y'all writing all the good stuff for the barbershop? And he did a scene with us. And for like 20 minutes, do y'all remember we did every single line from all his movies every time he says something? He was so mad.
Oh my God. I would have loved that.
He would say something, we'd be like, the sweat from my bones.
That's funny. That's funny.
It was like, you know, CMB, we said every single one of his lines from every single movie, and he got so mad.
But he ended up, he could only fight us for so long, because at the end, he joined in, he was like, black. Like, what are you gonna do?
Hey,
it's like you had to join in. Were you there?
You had to join in.
I don't think so. Maybe I don't remember. You know, I was only there.
We were a whole entity by ourselves.
I think it was.
Anybody that came up
just
in
decided
there.
to just mess with him because he refused to improv with us. We would say stuff and he would just stick to the script. And he was like, "They don't pay me enough to write anything."
I'm about to say, I'm getting paid to say this and do this.
He says, "I get listen. If it ain't on the paper, I'm not gonna say it."
I don't think that's what it was. I think, you know, to be honest with you, when they came in that barbershop, they were intimidated.
They were what?
They might have been.
Because we come in here, all the master's degrees and Juilliard and our little common asses, Denyce. You know, we
but it wasn't about the training that Bobby and I had. It was about
I think
the
it was
flow.
The friendship and
it was just the flow, the ensemble.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna throw this. You better catch it.
But
Lance immediately was just like, "What y'all doing? I want to have some fun too."
Yeah, he definitely did.
Ready for us because we had started that. We started that teamwork, make the dream work. We started that chemistry, and we didn't know we were gonna have chemistry like that. And that lunch was the difference, you know.
Yeah, and it's already rare to find a good actor. But to find actors who can do comedy, everybody can do like heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can do that. That's not hard. You know,
but physical
timing and comedy, that's a whole another thing. You know, like I don't know if it really was a clowning class, but I know that was one of our hardest classes in school was clowning.
Yes. Absolutely.
That is a hard class.
What they wanted from me, because if you guys don't remember, I don't know if you guys remember, it was hard because it was boot camp. It was literally boot camp. At 9 a.m. we did our table read. By 10 a.m. we were blocking. And the problem with that was after a certain period of time, when Tyler would leave the set, he then let Ruben Cannon tell us what to do. Then there was Roger Bob. And then there was, another person. It was 5 different people telling us what to do. And I think for me, by the time Tyler came back on set when we were ready to film, he'd be like, "What is your problem, girl? Why you can't remember none of your situations?" I'm like, and I didn't want to talk back and be like, because none of you can think on what you want me to do. You got 5 different people telling me what to do. And I think for me, it was because, like Palmer said, they dolled me up so much. People automatically didn't think I would be funny or didn't think I could play funny. They wanted me to be the airhead that was just plain sexy. And they didn't give me an opportunity to say, "Hey, I can do John Ritter, Lucille Ball physical comedy. You just want me to be buffoonish, and I'm not going to do buffoonery." You know what I mean? So then he made me take these other classes, and the acting coach I was working with, she was like, "I don't know why you're here." She was like, "You're good." And so she's like, I'm gonna just sign you off.
I can't believe I can't remember that you had to take classes.
I don't either.
Me
I
either.
don't either.
Yeah, it was literally like it was right before he gave us our episodes when he and I had a heart to heart. You know, got invited to have dinner. Me and Wesley got invited to have dinner at his house, and then we had this whole conversation. Then I had the conversation with Ruben, and then he, you know, it was a private conversation, but he understood where I was coming from. And he was like, is it that you don't want to do it or you don't know how to do it? And I said, unfortunately, when it comes to Black people doing stuff like this, they call it cooning and buffoonery. But if it was on Disney, it's Disney. It's just, you know, it's being animated. And I've been having problems going into casting because casting is saying we don't really like Tyler Perry actors because it's overacting and no one can act on there. And I was struggling. So with me being, I think for me on that show, Alan and I were the only two actors that were actually had credits or were like working and were in the union at the time. And I found it very hard to audition and get roles because nobody wanted Tyler Perry actors to come into their room. They totally disrespected Tyler Perry at that time. It's very different than how they view him now. And so when I had this conversation with him, he respected that. And then all of a sudden, that's when they wrote those 2 episodes for me and then those 2 episodes for you, Bobbi, to showcase us outside of Black women being viewed as this. Because I struggled with how they wanted me to be this airhead hoe.
Right.
Because that's what Dana was. She was an airhead and she was man crazy. She was having sex with everyone. And I was like, I mean, there's only so much I'm supposed to do with this role. And then that's when they, you know, started adding a little substance to both of us. They gave you the episode where your brother got shot. They made me, you know,
one too.
That was a good one. But you know, that was the.
Look, do you put your mask on while you're on this call? Shit. All that.
Rona? That's you?
Isn't that crazy though? That is just throwing this whole world upside down, that pandemic though, man.
Oh, Jason, you didn't seem to have any trouble getting, you know, typecast or trying to wiggle yourself up out of a typecast rut.
You know, and this is what happened. This actually, it kind of goes back to why I didn't come back with you all. So well, my whole vision for my career didn't at the time include Tyler Perry. House of Payne didn't really include broad sitcom comedy. Yeah. You know, I was coming out of grad school and I wanted to go to New York, and I was doing theater. I was trying to do theater, and Tyler Perry just came up. Like it just happened. So I was like, I'll take the opportunity. First time on TV, great, whatever. Have some fun with it. Yeah. And then when we took that break and nobody knew what was going to happen, at least with the Barbershop crew, at least I didn't know what was going to happen after that 100th episode. Right. You know, I was getting auditions in New York, and I booked this play in New York. A whole lot of fanfare with Leslie Uggams and Yaya DaCosta. It was great. My brother was going to be in it, my sister-in-law. So I said, I got to do this play, directed by Ruben Santiago Hudson. Yes. And so I auditioned for it, and I never forget. 2 days after I found out I booked that play, that's when I got the call about coming back to do House of Payne. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let's look at the scheduling. There was a scheduling conflict. The show, we were going to start actually the running of the show at the time. Tyler wanted us to come back and shoot in Atlanta. And so I said, I really want to do this play. And I was telling my agent, my vision for my career, although I had a lot of fun, this will do more for me in New York and for the career that I want than House of Payne will, for the career that I want. So if you're making me choose, I know it's a whole lot less money to do this play, but it's going to be a whole lot more valuable to me in the long run to do the play. And so like, okay, just don't make the decision yet. Hold on. So was it The Family That Prays? I think it was The Family That Prays was premiering in New York, and Ruben Cannon came to New York, and Ruben said, I want to sit down with you and your agent. So it was me, my agent, and Ruben all in the office one day. And Ruben said, okay, Jason, what do we have to do to get you back on the show? I said, we just got to make the scheduling work, you know, because I've committed to this play, and this came first before, you know, the TV commitment. And he said, okay, but you know, Tyler does plays too. We can get you one of his plays. And so you can still have the theater and whatnot. And I said, you know, that's okay, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. And again, for the career that I want, this play in New York, this kind of fanfare with the people in it, who was directed by, these are people that I'm going to work with for the next 15, 20 years, hopefully. If I hit it right. And I was the lead in the play. If I hit it right, I knew it would work. And so he left that day saying, I understand. I'll call back to see if we can make scheduling work. Because I was going to try to do a situation. You hadn't done it yet, Palmer, I don't think. Well, maybe you had. I was going to try to do a situation where, can I shoot all my stuff on Mondays?
Right.
And then fly back into You York.
Let me tell you something. I didn't even know my kids' names when I came home from that.
Right.
Well, that's it. You know.
But you know, long story short, you know, they called back and said, no, it's not going to happen. We can't do it. He has to choose. And although I hated, you know, leaving the group, the Barbershop crew, I was like, this is going to do better for what I want.
I think
in my career.
I think it did good for you.
It did. It made me mad though, because Jason and I talked religiously during this time. And I don't know if you remember, Jason, when I found out that they pushed our schedule back, I called Jason, I called Tyler, I called Ruben, and I tried to make it happen. I was like, yo, Jason, I said, they changed. I said, we're not shooting for like another 3 weeks now. And he was like, oh man. I was like, no. I said, I already talked to Ruben. Like
but nobody called me. Nobody called my
and then
rep,
by that time,
you know?
they had already.
But you understand, you got to move. You know.
But I saw Jason in that play.
Yes.
And to this day, I haven't seen anything like it. Look. You think Viola Davis can cry? You think Viola Davis can snot? You think she can snot better than Jason Dirden? You're lying.
Wow.
No, Jason, I'm so
bubbles.
Like,
oh no,
not
bubbles, not the bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles like saliva, like spit.
Oh,
like it was so raw. I ain't never seen it been so raw. I ain't never been so in love with something so nasty.
Oh, man.
And I was like, this is great. This is great.
I'm so glad I ate.
Man.
Like Jason has in every play, Jason has one of those King Kong ain't got shit on.
Yeah.
Jason has one of those in every
you can cuss.
It's okay. You can cuss.
Just right.
I ain't fucking.
And it's
cussing.
just like, oh. What'd you
You know, I do a lot.
Oh my God.
So I have to be careful about my mother.
Oh gosh, y'all got me hot.
Oh my God.
I'm proud of all of you guys.
And to your point, what you said, Palmer, early on, it's like we were all, even though we didn't know each other, we were all individual talents, like great talents. Mm-hmm. And you can see it based on what we've done after. You know, the Bobbi, Denyce. I came and saw your show, Palmer.
Oh man,
you know,
that threw me off real good.
I told you, I was in the city. I'm coming to see it.
I was like, you actually showed up.
Absolutely, man.
Casey Skanks is at my.
I think Bobbi's the only.
And then I messed Jason up one time. He was doing a panel discussion at Spelman. And I asked some dumbass question. It was in the audience. I'm trying to think something. I can't even remember what it was. Something dumb like, do you remember the words to the theme song to House of Payne? Or something
like that. I don't remember. It was something.
It was words.
No, there were
no.
Damn, Bobbi.
Bobbi's like, I don't remember no words.
Bobbi's like, what?
They say when you
I turned into a dog. I was like, oh.
They say when you had them babies,
Family Matters songs
take part of
going
your
through
mind
her
away.
head. Like, wait,
that's exactly what happened. But can I just tell y'all about this full? So we were talking about the auditions and stuff like that, and chemistry, and when we first got to know each other. So when we were Jason, when we were getting off, we rode the van together from the airport to the set, like on day one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I remember being a reader for Jason's audition for Terrell McCraney's debut play. Is that the name for it? Look, country don't know no more.
Yeah.
Premiere, debut. Yeah, his first one, his first joint. So it was his first joint, and I was the reader for it. Jason came in and auditioned. But I remember how amazing Jason was. And I also remember, like, you know, having a chance, okay, these are good actors, you know, so I'm trying to be a good reader for them. And halfway throughout the audition, Terrell McCraney goes, what is she doing? What is she doing? And the casting directors were like, yeah, we know she's already booked in a play. I was going to Long Wharf. And so it was just like, oh, okay, you know, we went on about our business or whatever. But because of actors like Jason and Jason's brother, because your brother auditioned too.
Yeah, he sure did.
You know what I'm saying? Because of actors like that, we in there making each other better. Right. Terrell remembered me. So over 10 years later, over 10 years later, he ain't seen me a day since then. But 10 years later, I get booked on his show, David Makes Man.
Wow.
Like that's the power of when good actors get in the same room together. Yeah. It's a power that lasts over a decade that nobody can forget. And that's what we did.
Always do your best, even when you're not even considered for the part.
Yeah, you just listen, your authentic talent just exuded, and you were just, you know, reading. Do you remember that episode?
Some of my worst auditions have gotten me gigs.
What'd you say?
Some of my worst auditions have gotten me gigs.
It's always those ones we like, I didn't get that one. You'd be like,
I'd like my ass on this lawnmower. I ain't get that shit.
Look, I'm on hold for a project that I just knew I bombed. I was like, I was crying 20 minutes before this audition. Look, the job I'm working on now, I self-taped maybe 2 hours before it was due because I decided not to do it.
Oh.
And then last minute, I made my cricket shirt and was like, let me go ahead and just do this real quick. And then I booked it.
We having attitudes doing self-tapes.
Right.
Really? Wait, do you guys remember that episode where Lance's character was supposed to propose to Miranda and we had a jeweler inside the bar?
Yes, I remember. Yeah, he's on Chicago PD.
Huh?
He's on Chicago PD.
So get this. I do my episode of Chicago PD 2 years ago, and I'm on set, and he comes up to me. He's like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I was like, "Brother, I don't." He said, "I had my first speaking role with you guys in the barbershop."
Wow.
I said, "What? What were you in?" I don't remember you. He says, "I was the jeweler." I was like, "Oh, with the tooth." And we was
It's open like that in the town.
And so he came his first speaking role as a guest star on our show, and then I went as a guest star on his show. It was 10 whole years later, and I was sitting there like, dang, like I was like, wow, that's dope.
And the guy from Hamilton, and When They See Us,
who?
The guy who knew something about my brother, and he wouldn't say. I was like, he said, "I'm not gonna snitch." He was like, he's done Hamilton, and When They See Us. What's his name?
Wait, Jason. Never mind.
Yeah, he just married a dude. That's who you.
What?
No, wait.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, but I don't know if y'all follow my Instagram. I just posted this.
Oh, that's the guy.
So after that episode,
wait a minute. Is this the one that tried to holler at you, Denyce, or something like that? And you kind of blew him
off? That's not quite how it went, Palmer.
For 10 years, I thought he was just trying to hang out. I was like, dude, I gotta do. Like, you're not getting the hint. And then in January, he's like, I love him. I said, oh, he didn't want me. He really for real wanted to be my Judy. He wanted to be my BFF.
I remember that post. I think I saw that post.
Oh my
God! You ever been so wrong and just out and wrong? I was like, I'm not trying to holler. I got a man.
Yeah. He was Palmer. You don't remember him? He was the guy I jacked up in the barbershop chair because he knew something about the shooting of my brother, and I choked him.
Right. I remember.
No, you still remember. You have to go back and watch it.
No, I really do. I really do.
Oh, you just gotta.
That was one of the.
Yeah, like
kind
of
really
a semi-spiky kind of hairstyle or something.
No, he was low cut bald.
Yeah.
Be quiet, Palmer.
Oh God! Don't make me act like I got Alzheimer's. Damn it,
John.
I'll send you his profile.
Oh my God,
John, we could go all day long. We could go all day long because, as you see, we don't forgot. We was like,
I love it.
because
So
when he got ready to leave the barbershop, you was like, it's like this is what we shouldn't be doing, and blah blah blah, yada yada.
yeah,
I remember the
yeah.
guy. I remember the guy.
Oh, and
Yeah.
then your other brother played my husband in a movie, House.
House. Yeah. Yeah.
My cheating lying husband.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was trying to holler in the barbershop. It didn't happen then, but it happened later.
You know what? One of the things that used to always be fun is like when we would say a line that the other person wouldn't know was getting ready to happen. And I used to always love when we had somebody in the shoe shine chair.
Yes, you did.
Something stupid, like
So stupid.
you know, like, I really think you won that fight against Muhammad Ali. One of the guys looked like Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
You
extras.
that looked like somebody.
Oh,
And
Them
it
extras
would
will
be
be
a
over there by the
genuine
bus.
look. It would be a genuine look because they'd be like, "What?" That used to be so much fun.
Oh man,
And we were given that freedom, like you said.
we were given freedom.
We were
Yeah.
given that freedom.
Yeah.
That
was
was
so much fun. I miss y'all.
so
I miss
cool.
y'all too.
So what are we gonna write with just us in it now? What?
I think y'all
You said
should.
what?
I think y'all should, because that was going to be I'm gonna start a petition. Bring the barbershop back. Real talk.
Wait, can I say something to Bobby really quick publicly?
Oh God.
There,
Oh,
no. So in
see, we always get
2013
nervous when Denyce said like, but for real though, when she goes,
No.
Oh,
Because
she one
there's
of
something
those.
that I don't know if your audience knows this about you,
who?
but there's something that Bobby did. I'm trying not to cry right now.
Oh no.
But there was in 2013, I was going through, I think, the worst times of my life because this is right after my brother died.
Yeah.
And that episode that with your brother being shot literally mirrored my real life, other than my brother actually died. But I was going through health issues. I was going through a breakup. I was going through like the worst times in my life. And Bobby didn't know, but something about her and my connection, Bobby called me out the blue this one day. And I was having a mental breakdown. And I was like, I want to be able to have babies. And I don't know if I can because I'm having fibroid issues and da-da-da. And she said, you don't worry about that right now. She said, you are an amazing writer. You are amazing at this, that, and the other. And maybe the feeling of wanting to have a baby and all these other things isn't about an actual baby. Maybe your writing is your baby. And maybe that's what you should nourish and focus on. But she said so much more that was just so intense that it literally changed the trajectory of my life. And I ended up writing 6 movies like that month because of Bobby. I just let everything else go and I sat and I just wrote and I wrote so much stuff that is currently being optioned right now. But I don't know. It's like so when you go back to the first question, like there's something that's just that's happened between all of us. No one else knew that I booked this job, and Palmer called me out the blue, literally on the day that I traveled to do the job. And he didn't know what was going on. And I just happened to tell him, and like Jason has been there for me through so much. Like, oh my God. One of the hardest days of my last breakup, I ran into Jason in Venice Boulevard, like crying, walking by myself, trying to clear my mind. And Jason's just there in my face. I literally just got off the phone with him, like keeping him on the phone for 4 hours crying. And there he is in Venice, was like, as if he knew I needed a hug, like the universe or God knew I needed a hug that day, and he was there. So I say all that to say, like, there has always been a connection with us that even if we don't see each other or speak to each other, like, I know for me, in some of the like most beautiful moments in my life, or the moments that I've needed it the most, you guys just pop up. You guys just pop up. And it's just like that show, whether it's improv or whatever it is, like, you guys have just been very instrumental in just like.
I personally haven't had as much fun since I've been on that with y'all. I mean, I've done a few things, done my own shows and all that kind of stuff. And I even look at some of the cast members that I've casted, and it's like, you know, Denyce wouldn't do that. Bobby wouldn't do that. I'm saying it in my head.
Right.
Like basically at that point, you guys have become the template. You have become basically the way in which I started to write. I started thinking about what would Bobbi say, you know, like a WWJD moment, and what would this person say in this, and it helped me to structure some of the actual shows. Like there's always been a desire for me to write shows that I would write for myself, because I always had this big thing about creating my own gig. Because my father told me 6 months before he passed away, he's like, when are you going to do something that elevates the Lord, makes you money, and you stop making everybody else rich? And that has been pretty much my mantra. And so in writing, I had gotten to the point where I was creating my own gig. But now I've gotten to a point where sometimes I feel like I just want to come in and do a little small cameo and write and direct, because I know that there are so many stories that are within me, within all of you, that we've yet to tell. And I would hate to take all those beautiful stories to the grave.
Right.
And because the graveyard is full of wonderful ideas and that we will never get to see. But sometimes you have to call on friends and acquaintances and colleagues, because you could have the greatest story that was never told if you don't share the wealth. So I'm willing, if you guys are. I'm just going to put that.
You just got to call me, and as long as I'm not obligated to
I
anything.
know I'm going to have to read some of it for a biracial, but for the most part,
I'm not stand him. You talking about me or Jason?
Can I be black, Palmer? Can I be black? That's my question. Can I be black? I need to put that in the contract.
You see how she you talking about me or Jason? That was hilarious. That was good.
He said for a biracial. For a biracial.
Yeah, but
a biracial what, Palmer?
A
biracial what? Can I say that was so ethnic or Oriental?
Talking about that was Tyler's writing. No, that
that
came all from your
look on my Instagram. I had Stop Using Hate. And only one half of my screen was black. I left the other side black. I'm thinking of you.
Who has the access to the mute button?
That is so dumb.
Oh God, I love y'all so much.
Love y'all too, man.
I love y'all so much. Can we please not go another 10 years without like seeing everybody's face in one area? Yeah.
Wait, Bobbi, I don't even know what state you're in right now.
I'm in North Carolina right now. I'll be in Tennessee soon.
Hey, congratulations to Nate.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's big. That's
Thank
great.
you.
What is it? Austin P? What is it?
Austin P State University.
You know, I graduated from Knoxville College, Knoxville, Tennessee.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tennessee. The song.
You'll be closer.
Really applies.
I don't. Let me tell you something. Geography. Will you be closer?
Because Austin P is in what city? What city is Austin P in?
Clarksville, about an hour from Nashville. 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Let's just book a trip for you and Palmer to make it to LA. Because that's where me and Jason.
Yeah, let's do that.
Majority wins.
Yeah.
or Jason, if we both happen to be in the Atlanta area.
In Atlanta, we'll make it happen.
Look, I got a full basement for all of y'all, including DJ John Quick.
Where are you at, John?
Let's go. I'm in New York City.
Okay.
No
Okay.
doubt, no doubt.
Well, no, we'll wait on you because we don't know what COVID's doing up there.
I know you're not talking about.
He vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated, brother.
He vaccinated.
That don't mean nothing.
That's true.
You just got protein in your system.
I just put on an extra coat.
That means that you can put some magnets in the area where you got vaccinated and they'll stick. Damn metal chip in your ass. But anyway, but no, I would love. We need to have a retreat, writing retreat. Have somebody there.
That would be amazing.
Write down everything.
And just throw some idea.
Yeah.
We should. No. What I do want
if the four of us sat on a Zoom we probably wouldn't get nothing done the first hour, but
Like,
Or two.
no, I'm just saying it would just probably just be this, but I'm game.
I more than anything, it's just we still don't understand the chemistry. That's what's cool about we
But
try.
I think it's what Denyce said. I think the gist of what Denyce was saying was that it's bigger than us. It's above us. It's divine. Really.
I think we had
it's something called Deepak Chopra has a book, and he has this thing called synchro destiny. And it's where we all have our own destinies, but they synchronize within each other.
Yeah.
So it aligns with like, people say, oh, the love of my life, or, my soulmate. Soulmates come in different forms, and it doesn't have to just be about romance.
Wow.
It could be sisterhoods and friendships and the whole, blood make you related, but loyalty make you family. Like, we're family.
Yeah. Jason, we had an attitude when old boy came.
We did.
Oh yeah.
I still got one.
We refused to accept him.
Not with you. It wasn't even with
with him. Yeah.
Because it wasn't you.
It wasn't you.
I
as
still
much as
got
I love
attitude.
Gary, it just the chemistry.
What'd you say, Bobby?
I still got an attitude. Attitude. I got an attitude.
It was harder.
Like
I said, but it's not Gary's fault. He was a comedian, and there was a lot of
That's self-centered. He didn't know how to play.
He didn't know how to channel, how to work with other people. Comedians are used to getting the last laugh, the punchline, and working on their own. But it wasn't Gary's fault either. The production made him feel a lot bigger than the rest of us. They offered him his own show.
Yeah,
more money than us. It was a lot of other messed up.
Denyce was schooling me on the business.
She knew all the business.
I made sure everybody
all
get
the business.
right.
I was like,
it's like I didn't get that email. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Like, y'all not getting the emails? Y'all not?
The man.
I was like,
Nate asked me what was different one day, and I was like, I can't describe it. And then I was like, okay, how can I make Nate understand what's going on? And I told Nate, I was like, with when there are two comedians, it feels like, you know how one person is supposed to throw the lob and then the other person is supposed to dunk?
Right.
It feels like it's two people trying to dunk the ball at one time, and it's just the point
Nobody's throwing the lob.
and the point doesn't count. Like, who's throwing? Like, somebody got to throw the lob.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I knew most of the time, 9 times out of 10, Palmer was the dunker.
Right.
This is my baby boy Luke.
Let me see.
You still having babies?
What's up,
No,
man?
Hey, Luke.
You got a young
I
one.
never met Luke. I don't think.
No.
Luke,
He
you
wasn't born
grown.
yet.
What up, Luke?
Luke is what 5'10" now.
Wow.
What?
In the 10th grade.
Wow.
In the 10th. So you did have.
And the
He was little.
He was a baby.
Yeah, he was a baby.
Wow.
Was he?
Wow.
Yeah, you remember
Oh,
when
man.
touring and I had to come in, and that was the only time I got to see my family was when they came to the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going back and forth. He was in the car carrier, I think.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Palmer, I got to say, Palmer, you messed up our money, man, by doing them plays and us only shooting on Mondays, because we used to shoot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's 3 days of per diem.
Yeah.
That's the month of money coming in
That
on
travel
Monday.
wore me
We got
out too.
we just got that 1 day of per diem and shooting 3 shows.
Mondays.
All I gotta say
Right.
is this: do this show that I have written called "When Black Folks Croak."
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get your per diem that you lost.
He said well, per diems don't even matter no more. They don't give you cash. They take taxes out of it.
They put it in a check. It's crazy.
Everything done changed.
Depending on the production.
And
You
then
get quarantine pay, but they still take taxes
they
out
want
of
to pay
that.
you.
And if you work in Canada,
want to pay you $500 a day. Yeah, that's the
Right.
me.
Yeah, you can't write off nothing.
Not a damn thing. You can't
Out of where?
you can't buy nothing and you can't write off nothing.
Where?
Right.
You know,
What are you talking about?
but no, as far
Well,
as
you can write off stuff still, Denyce. Let's talk.
Me.
are you a corporation? Is you a
Jason, real
corporation?
quick.
LLC.
Yeah, but Jason, real
you
quick.
need
Next
to
time
be
you go
the
to
accountant
Canada,
for the show.
let me
Well,
put y'all
hiring
up on
you as
game.
the-
Anybody that's listening.
You got to be
Take
in
your
the show
hold on.
and be the accountant, Denyce.
Take your receipts next time you're in Canada. Take it to an airport. There's a special office. All the receipts outside of your paychecks, every single penny that you've paid in taxes, you get 100% back from Canada.
Oh, you do?
Because you're not a Canadian resident and you don't have to pay into their tax system. You get 100% of your taxes back. Now, you don't get it back when they take it out of your checks, but if you have a dope accountant, they can help you do the adjustments to get the credits and the points towards your federal, not your state, but all the taxes that you paid in your
I understand that is beautiful this time of year.
But you can get all those credits towards your federal taxes so that you don't have to owe on your federal.
I'm not going to tell y'all the gist of the 2 stories that I have in mind for y'all on here, but I will be contacting you soon.
Yes. Y'all, we are definitely going to have to pick this up.
So let me ask you this, Bobbi.
Y'all,
how is it working on Ruthless?
It's
all right.
No. Let me.
She kind of hesitated, y'all. She kind of.
No. So when I
said we're recording.
When I got there, get this. When I got there, I think I called Jason and told him this because I called him while I was in Atlanta, like, whoa! So Mark Winston is now the executive producer. Y'all remember Mark?
Yeah, talking about myself hello. I love Mark.
Yeah, Mark Winston.
You know Mark.
Mark Winston did our blocking. He did our blocking. Okay. He was always in an army fatigue jacket.
Yeah, and then he started doing all the plays and stuff too. But Mark was the short brown skinned man.
Yes. Swinton is his last name.
Yes. What I say, Mark Winston. You know, yeah. Okay, Mark Swinton. You're right. So when I got there the first day, he was like, the Tyler that you remember, just think of that on steroids. And I was like, how? Wait, we did 3 shows a day. What do you mean it's gotten worse? He was like, no, it has. He was like, I've had actresses in my office crying because they have 72 pages the next day. Mm-hmm. And you just
I don't ever want to watch that again.
Figure it out. But I will say this though, after 2 weeks of being there, it was like we had taken a limitless pill. You don't know the breadth. Okay, let me pronounce every consonant. The breadth of your brain's capacity until you stretch it. Like I shot
memory
12. Oh my gosh. I shot 12 scenes from 12 different shows in one day and went up on one episode. And by the time we got done, I remember there being a guy in the cast. I remember he got an 8-page audition. He said he learned it in 18 minutes.
Man.
Because that's just...
Yeah, but okay, but my question is this, and this is no...
I already know what you're going to ask, girl.
The quality of the content of the character. There's no time to do the character development. Like you can memorize lines, but if you don't have the character development, how do you know what I mean? Like that's
what I called Jason about.
Because
that's what I called Jason about.
I like when I have 4 auditions that were all due. I got on a Wednesday, they were all due on a Friday. I couldn't do it. Like I could do it because I have photographic memory. I know the lines. But the developing of the character is so much more important to me to execute the character versus executing the lines. And like I don't ever want to have to work in an environment where it's like I want to execute this much content versus the quality of the content. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And that's exactly what I called Jason about. And I think Jason was saying that, he had another actor who was trained and wasn't used to working that way. But also, it's like if you're doing, for me, since I was doing like other stuff, it wasn't like how it was on House of Payne, where like, this is your only credit. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it was kind of like, hey, go down there, get paid for 2 weeks, what you would in 2 years, and get that shmoney and bring it on back.
I understand that argument.
Because I got one at FAMU and one at Georgia State. Sometimes it's a little bit of a compromise, but hell, I'd rather have the compromise and at least walk away with some character and not have to worry about selling my soul and still be able to equip my children to have a position to be successful. Sometimes you have to think about that too.
Well, you guys have kids.
And then we're
Jason and I don't
auditioning.
have children
Let's
to
be-
make that.
But you got children that you're birthing out of your brain that you need financing for. So, you know, sometimes you have to do those auditions and the way what did you say?
I do good money management. So I'm one of those, honestly, I'm one of those people that would rather not work at all than to work on anything that will.
You're
no, she is not. No, she is not.
You have a beauty of a kept woman. That's the thing.
No, that is the furthest from the truth of anything, and I will skin you.
Look, you're gonna be a kept woman. You'll be financing all of our projects with your husband.
I'm going to do that because I know how to manage and invest my money, and I get all my coins, and I don't let people steal money from me anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Denise got the same Reed idiosyncrasies.
Same.
Her Reed idiosyncrasies have not changed.
Well, listen, y'all. Listen. I'm going to have to be the responsible adult because I saw you in the room, whatever. But I got stuff to do.
I hear you, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't be on with you all night, although I'm really enjoying it.
People in New York had to work twice as hard to pay that.
You already know. You already know. So, but what I do want to say is thank you so much for coming on. He's the DJ, she's the actress. I had so much fun. And again, that barbershop scene on that show to me is one of the most underrated, like iconic, like scenes in Black television history because it's influenced a lot of shows that we've already talked about, but I'm sure there's more that we haven't talked about. But I just want to say thanks, man, and thank you guys for taking care of my sis Bobbi while she was on
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
I love y'all to life.
Denise, did you used to work at Def Jam?
I did.
Did you know my frat brother Thomas Lytell?
No, I didn't work
with
him. I was.
What fraternity are you in?
I was
I'm an Omega.
Inc. And
I'm sorry.
The Qs. I'm the Qs. The bros. The Qs.
You said the Qs. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. It's all good, bro. 1911 all day.
All day. One in January, one in October.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, one of the chief executive officers of Aflac is a Q. He's like, there's
Aflac.
Right. We can't help it.
I know. It had to be her, right?
But I was thinking, I was like,
that is it Juilliard or did you graduate from Julia?
Jules is yard.
Jules yard. He had his own little online school. The brother's name is Virgil Miller. You can look him up with Aflac. He's one of the top-ranking officials.
Oh, you know what? I think we actually gave him like some type of honorary something because I remember that name, Virgil Miller.
Yeah,
I did our national gala
about an hour ago, and last night he's really good brother of yours. He's good.
That's what's. Hey, send Bobby his info because I need to hit him up. I'm doing an event for women, uplifting women. I need some sponsors. so hit him up. Hit Bobby up with that info.
And just take that soundbite and send it to him.
Absolutely.
Yo, people. Oh, and just and another one of your fraternity brothers. My goddaughter just graduated from Alabama last Saturday, and she's engaged to a young man. He was drafted 176, and he's now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. His name's KJ Britt. He's one of your frat brothers from
Britt.
That's my. I just he was just here at the house Saturday.
That's what's up. What's up.
Palmer's gonna be one of them grandpa and uncles. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, looking for like, I know
and the boy, he used to cut my grass when I stopped doing my gardening business. But his nephew just graduated.
He used to run up the street, no shirt on, no shoes. I don't know what's wrong with his mama.
Denise, you really don't know me, do you? You used to have a lawn service. Please, I just got off the lawnmower about an hour.
He just killed a snake today.
You see those snakes videos?
You did.
No,
you said
I'm saying like 20 years from now, Palmer's gonna be like, remember when I used to cut grass? Speaking of cutting grass, you know the boy down the street?
Can y'all see my truck out front?
One time, but you know he's
Yeah,
graduated.
yeah.
That's
I
what-
can see it.
That's what's up.
Palm,
Yeah.
I killed a snake. I killed a snake a couple days ago with a curtain rod
Where the hell was the snake?
in my driveway.
Are you came out there with the curtain rod?
Sure did.
You just left him outside.
I guess she was saying like, "Hey,
Look.
brother, your curtains."
Hold on. And on that note,
right,
thank you guys.
DJ.
Thank you so much for coming
Love
over. We
y'all, man.
appreciate y'all.
Love y'all.
And we will holler at
I
y'all
love
later.
y'all so much.
Bobbi,
In the
thank you
group
for having me.
chat.
Hey,
Peace out, y'all.
we got to do
Thank
this,
y'all.
y'all. Let's do something.
Yes.
All right.
I see y'all in the group chat.
So you know
Love
what, Bobby? So you know what, Bobby? Let's just end the show right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let everybody say goodbye. Do me a favor. Everybody around, we'll start with Palmer. Just let people know how they can reach you on social media.
Please contact me at Palmer Williams J. That's on Twitter as well, which I'm not as often on as I am on what's the other one? Shit.
Instagram.
The old folks is on damn Facebook. But
That's actually true. That's actually
that's
true.
Palmer Williams Jr. and I have palmerwilliamsjr.com.
Okay,
And
cool.
be on the lookout for the big event that I'm doing is July 12th. It's a golf tournament for my college, Knoxville College.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to benefit
Okay.
from that.
Nice.
So if
Okay.
y'all show up at that, I'm going to be the one that's fainting and laying there crying and pissing on himself. But
I should have my new weave in by then, so I just might.
Okay,
Somebody
Denyce,
gonna have to see it.
Denyce, how can they reach you?
get in touch with me other than
Every
that. and you're a stalker. That's
every
all.
social from TikTok to my Cash App is Denyce Lawton.
Okay, good. All right,
Listen,
All right, Jason.
Palmer said I need funding for my script, so listen, y'all at Denyce Lawton, Cash App, Venmo, TikTok.
Come
And the money, she gonna flip it.
all right, Jason, how can people get in
My
contact
name,
with
same
you?
thing. My name, Jason Dirden, and that's all on every social media platform.
All right, dope.
I will be releasing my OnlyFans very soon.
All right, y'all.
Ain't that the nasty thing?
I'm reading scriptures.
So listen, y'all. This has
With
been
her new
episode-
weave.
This has been episode 12 of He's the DJ, She's the Actress. I'm John Quick, Bobbi Baker. Thank you guys for coming on.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna release my video. Palmer, dancing stripper for gospel music.
We'll see y'all later, y'all.
We don't stop.
You should see what I can do.
Bye.
You just got to cut it. We're not gonna